We dedicate this episode to the memory of our grandfather Jaak, who passed away earlier this year at the age of 87 years old. Documenting this place was important to us to create a lasting memory of our loving grandfather. He lived in the house for the majority of his life, together with my grandmother that had 9 children, and at one point all of them used to live inside the house. More than 2 decades ago, his wife passed away, leaving him alone inside this place, but he always found a way to occupy himself. The many interests of Jaak are divided throughout this place, in case it was pool, cycling or pigeon fancying. Whether it was the very busy past or the more peaceful later years, the house was a home for our family, and together with our grandparents it will always hold a special place in our hearts. Welcome back everybody to the Bros of Decay. I'm Leslie and today it's actually the Bros of Decay again like it used to be. I'm gonna turn the camera around because Jordy, my brother, has joined us again today for a special episode. One
Indeed.
that I of course didn't want to make, make, but we have to make it. We feel like we have to make it for a memory. Our grandfather recently passed away, 87 years old, beautiful age. And today we're standing next to the house.
We're going to make an awesome episode of this.
We're going to make a memory.
Yeah, a good story. It has a lot. The house has a lot to tell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My father used to live here together with 8 brothers and sisters. It was a ginormous place. Lots of stories attached to it. My grandfather was a man who did a lot in life, and I'm quite excited to tell the story of my grandfather, Jaak, to everybody online. And showcase our youth.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's show this place. Yeah. It just started to rain, but still we're gonna go through. We're gonna power through and film the beautiful house of my grandfather here behind us. It's built around the 1930s, 1940s. I believe, did they build it themselves, Jordy?
Yeah, they did it themselves.
Completely themselves. My grandfather, he was a painter as job. And you can see every single piece of the house has been hand painted by him. Number 19 of the street, beautiful place. See if the bell still works. I hear probably somebody's gonna open right now because still a friend of the family still lives in the house until it gets sold. As you can see, the garden still beautifully kept. This was a pride possession of my grandfather. He attained this garden perfectly. Wow. And over here, you can go past and you come into the back garden of the house. Are you okay, bro?
Oh, yeah.
There's still a lot of cars over here, but this was a space for work, parking the cars. He had the birdhouse back there, little lounging space. I don't know about this part of the house actually. Have you ever been here?
No.
I don't know if this is part of the house though. Oh yeah, this also opens up. Oh, there's a little extra garden on this side as well. You see, I've been coming here for 24 years and I've never noticed these kind of parts on the house. And there are going to be a lot of parts inside the house here that me and Jordy both have never been because we always used to come here, just hang out in the living area and never go up to the bedrooms. I've never been in the bedrooms, never been in the basement. And I'm very excited to show you, to bring up these memories. My father just told me a lot of things about the house, a lot of story about my grandfather, and that's what I'm all gonna tell you today when we're going inside of this place. I can still remember this place vividly. I hadn't come here for a long time, but once I see it again, it just brings up all the memories from the time that my grandfather used to live here. Okay, you ready to go inside, Jordan?
Yeah.
Let me turn on the light. Okay. Okay, come in. Even the smell of the place reminds me of our grandfather. He passed away 4 months ago and he left us all behind. It's very unfortunate, but he had a beautiful life. 87 years old, didn't suffer anything when passing away. So for me, that's just, yeah, it's not fantastic, of course, your grandfather passed away, but it's a beautiful life. And yeah, he left behind a lot of memories. You know this room still, Jody, from when we were younger?
Oh yeah, where we did pooling.
Yeah, the billiards table, the pool table. There's an exact name for this table, but I don't know it in English. But my grandfather was one of the best at it. He earned a lot of trophies with it, did a lot of competitions, and he would be always in this room playing away on the pool table. This was one of his passions, combined with race bike riding. Those two things were his hobbies, and he pursued this throughout his life. Kept it very neat. I think this pool table is probably as old as the house, but it's still in perfect condition. I was looking at these sort of windows above here. I've never actually noticed them, but I don't know if there are lights behind those. No, there are not. They also don't let in natural light because there's literally a roof on top of it. I don't know why my grandfather constructed those, but yeah. A lovely cabinet here to the side, very big. And over here we can enter into the garage of the place. Like I told you before, my grandfather used to be a painter, and my father also used to go with him when he was younger. He used to help him out in his painting jobs. And they had a special story about this one. They had this ladder constructed to paint the roofs of houses. This is a very large ladder. And they used to get it out in this way. They had to pull it up and then get it underneath this metal beam and pull it out all the way and then put it on top of a small van. So it would stick out on both sides. Back in the time, of course, the police was relaxed and it was not like nowadays where you can never move something like this on top of a small car or a van. But back then, it was all no problem. All the stories that are attached to this house, I just love it. Okay, let's close this up. And now it's time for the most intricate part of the house. The kitchen area and the living space, where I as a young boy, and Jordy as well, used to come a lot. Can you believe that back in the time, when my father still used to live here, around, was it 11 people, Jordy?
No, they already...
Yeah, 9 children and my grandfather and grandfather and grandmother.
Yeah, and Sammy, of course.
And Sammy, that's the family friend that I was talking about that still lives here. So my father had, they were with 4 brothers and 4 sisters, so 9 in total. My grandmother also used to live here, but she only lived until I was 2 years old. She unfortunately passed away of cancer at 60. And my grandfather used to live here alone for that further time. He had a girlfriend, of course, but she didn't live here. But can you imagine, back in the day, they had dinner parties with the 11 people. Everybody was still here. This table can extend, and 11 people will be sitting around this table for breakfast, dinner, lunch, everything. It's all still exactly the same as how it used to be back in the time. I can remember this kitchen vividly from the time grandmother making food over here. Can you also still remember that, Jody?
Yeah, I remember her standing always here.
Okay. And this chair.
That's where grandfather always sat.
Yeah, Jaak used to always sit here. And also his place was also on the corner of the table over there.
Yeah, indeed.
Let's look at a couple of pictures that we have over here. I'm not going to go too in depth, but this is a picture from when my grandfather was still younger, Jaak. This was our grandmother. Wow. And this is the family crest from the Houben family. That's me and my brother. Here I can see Jaak, that's father or grandfather, but were these people, are they the grandparents?
I think they are his grandparents.
His grandparents, jeez. A kind word is the key to the heart, it says over here. Absolutely beautiful. Everything that we see over here is still original and unique from the time that we used to live here. Even these stickers on the fridge, I can still remember them from when I was about 2 or 3 years old. I can still remember those. Who's this young boy hanging here on the wall?
I don't know.
Looks a little bit like my father, like our father. No?
Yeah, but no clue.
Me neither. Back here we have a small washing area. And this is also very interesting. When I was younger, I always thought that this was a jacuzzi. But now, when I step into this room, when I'm older, I look at it and I was like, actually, this is a very small shower area. But back then I was like, wow, this is such a big bathtub.
Yeah, I always also thought that when I was young.
Yeah.
It was very big, but now it's like, oh, it's really small.
Exactly. So when you are young and then you don't come into these rooms of the house for a very long time and you have these vivid memories of the time back then, it's crazy how it all changed. Wow. Little skylight above here as well. It's actually a pretty nice house, I must say. Wow. It's old, but it has everything you need. Come further, my brother. It's very, very nice to film with you again.
Yeah,
It brings also a lot of memories back.
it has been a long time.
A very long time. And then we come into the room where my grandfather, back in the time, he used to reside here a lot. Whenever we came to visit our grandfather, he would always be in this room, always on this side of the couch, watching his favorite sports shows. And on this TV, the lower TV back in the... So, okay, one more story, excuse me. The lower TV would always be the TV for my grandfather. He would watch race biking on there, billiards, darts, all these kinds of sports. That was his big thing. And above there would have been the television for the children, actually. So my father and all his brothers and sisters used to watch over there, and my grandfather could watch his shows below here. We also have a couple of trophies. I've never looked at this one in depth, but this is a gift from the brewery. Oh, in my hometown. This is the championship for LBB. Might have something to do with billiards, I think.
No, I think for pigeons.
Oh, for pigeon. Oh yeah, for pigeon milking. That was also one of his sports. Wow. There's nothing actually in there. There. Can you still remember that car?
Yeah, the Rover.
The Rover. Wow. My grandfather proudly standing next to it. He had that car for many, many years. Beautiful. Wow. Can you distinguish these people, Johnny?
Oh. That's me and you.
That's me and that's Jody. That was his new girlfriend for my grandfather. Was my grandmother. And I actually can distinguish these people. I think this is Jazzy, your our uncle. Wow. Beautiful. Cabinet full of dictionaries. But there's one thing, one story that has been imprinted in my memory from the time I used to come here when I was very young and when my grandmother was still alive. So there's this door and I've actually never been through there. And whenever we were at the dinner table, my grandmother would always say, don't go into the basement because Chang was a made-up name that she made for a monster that lived in the basement. So when you are bad, she would say, I will put you in the basement with Chang. And I've never went into the basement. I was actually scared of it.
I never went to that.
No. So I'm super excited. For the first time ever, we're gonna look into that basement where Zhang used to live.
Maybe we can find Jaak.
Yeah, Oh, oh, it's even locked. Look at that. Oh. I'm actually pretty scared to go in there. I've visited so many basements around the world, but yeah. Come inside, bro. A couple of old pieces of kitchen equipment are still left here. They are very old, as you can see. Okay. And this is where Jaak used to live. Jaak is a common Dutch name. Wow. It's actually much smaller than I would ever imagine. Look at this, Jody.
Oh.
It's just a little food pantry. Actually not that scary at all. This one grabs my attention. Wow. Beautiful.
What's that?
Copper sort of teapot from the Arabian world, from Morocco or Turkey or something like that. Look at that.
Oh, still food.
What we always see in abandoned houses around the world, my grandfather also used to do this. And this one is from 1997, only a month after I was born.
But I think our grandmother did this.
Most likely, this was still work from our grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know what's in there. Probably fruit at one point.
Oh no, these are all sands from lands. This is from Normandy.
Tunisia,
This is
London.
They collected all the
Oh.
ground.
Probably my grandfather and grandmother went on vacation and take these.
Ground samples.
Oh, this is from Josie. This is from our uncle, and he brought it back from Sudan in 1998.
That's cool.
Wow. I didn't even know that. So these are okay. This is super awesome to see. So these are all the people that live here, that used to live here. Josie and Ronnie and Karine and Peter. Those were all friends and family, of course. And whenever they went somewhere, for example, Thailand, Hungary, London, they would bring a sample of the ground with them and put them here in the basement. Probably my father and everybody forgot about this, but I'm gonna bring it up later on. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, wow, look at these bottles of wine down here. My grandfather was also a very big fan of wines. Côte du Rhône, you can see, this is a very old bottle. Very deep hole as well. They say the deeper the hole is, the older or the better the bottle is.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my gosh. Wow, okay, let's go slowly backwards because here we have even more wine storage. Let's see if we have some special bottles down here. These look very old. Wow. My grandfather also loved to travel, and he still, until his very old day, he went all over the place in Belgium with his bicycle and visited all these places. So now we're gonna go to the next part of the house. I was just saying to Jordy, it's insane to be walking around here and reliving all those memories from back in the time. And now we're going into a room or into a part of the house that I've also never been in. I think I maybe once or twice was in this room, but further on the house and the upstairs I've never seen before. And at the time my grandfather was a little bit older. They moved his bed downstairs. Like we normally see in the houses that we film, the beds always go downstairs. But this used to be his living space where the family used to be together in the evening. And there's one vivid memory that my father just told me about this room. There used to be an enormous couch that stretched all the way around here. And it was very interesting. The whole family would be sitting here in the evening. But here to the left, you have a picture of back in that time. Everybody is still on there, the whole family, as you can see. And it was back in the original condition. How do your rooms look? It has been renovated since, but beautiful picture. And we also have the same picture in our house at home. Wow. Of course, my grandfather used to love to drink some liquor from time to time. Still some liquor inside of here. Ooh, it smells really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a sort of port, I think. It's a white port.
I love it with even the glasses, so it's...
Beautiful design, right?
Yeah.
And with the grapes and everything. Here are some cigars. Oh. Ah, that's just a box to hold some cards inside of. Little feather as well. I see something, Jordy. Look at this. Look at this young man.
That's you.
That's me, exactly. And I can still remember when I was 6 years old. I took my grandfather to school because it was Grandfather's and Grandmother's Day, and I only had a grandfather left, and my grandfather came with me, and I made this for him. Put a little text on the back. Dear Grandma and Grandpa, a kiss on the hairs, 2 kisses on your sleeve, 3 kisses to say I love you. From your king, or I don't know how to translate this word, Leslie X. Wow, that's beautiful. Here's the dog. His name was Rocky. I can also remember him. He went to the age of 20, I believe, right?
No, I think no. He was younger, but he was a very old dog.
Very old dog, exactly. Again, the same pictures of me and my brother, also still left here. Wow. And a bottle of German beer or Belgian beer. No, this is German beer. There's pictures of my father. Here my father still looks very young. Look at him. Beautiful. What a room. Okay. It's time to traverse into an area of the house that we have never been in. The upstairs. Okay, here was the front. Oh.
It's open.
Yeah. They opened it up for us. See, this was the front of the house. Here you would come in. Close it up. Wow, this is a steep stairway, Jordy. Come have a look at this. Everything you see here, the molding, the paintwork, all been made by my grandfather, Jaak himself.
Yeah, that told us that he loved to make this marble. He did hours and hours of painting to creating this.
I didn't hear that story, but he created it completely by hand?
Yeah.
Wow.
With a paintbrush, he made it, it's the marble looking.
Oh, even this looks like marble, but it's actually wood.
Yeah.
Wow. He was a master at his work. Absolutely. Come upstairs, bro. Let's check out this. Here we can even see some fleur de lis on the wall. French symbol. And I believe my father said the room to the right used to be the room where he used to sleep back in the time. And this bed that you see in here, this 1970s, 1960s bed, didn't used to be in here, but all the boys of the household used to sleep in this room. My father used to sleep in one bed here to the side. This doorway that you see over here wasn't even able to open anymore, so my father and his 4 brothers all used to sleep next to each other in this room. 5 people. It's absolutely crazy. And I think later on somebody else slept in this room, but I don't know who it was. Look at this vanity, Jordy. It's a pretty unique retro vanity, I would say. I've never seen a design like this before. There's even a wig inside of here. I don't know whose hair it is, but it doesn't really matter. Look at that. Very retro design. Couple of toys down there. Wow. Beautiful pictures still left here. Wedding. Oh, that's from our king and queen in Belgium.
Yeah.
Philippe and Mathilde. Wow. Okay. Some vases on top of here. Love this one. Nice design. Oh yeah, this was the rumor my father also told about. So later on, when his brothers moved out of the house, he is the youngest brother, I believe so. My father's the youngest brother. He still used to live here, and then he moved into this room together with his second oldest brother, and they slept with 2 people inside of this room. So this was my father's room as well. You can see some trophies standing here from 1988 when my grandfather was fourth in the championship. Here's another one. Here's 1994. I think he won over there. Wow. He loved to do what he did. It's a cool marble table. Wow. Gold plating around the edge of it. That's not gold, it's probably copper, but I really like it. And there's a beautiful story attached to this room as well. So back in the time when my father used to sleep here, they used to sneak out through this window. So they would open this window up, and then they would go over the roof here, and then through the back, and they went to parties, or they went to their girlfriends or whatever. And one time, it was my father's turn to go out and to go to a party, and his brother stayed, they had like, one stayed at home and one went, and my brother didn't keep his word and also went to the party. So my father came back home, knocked on the window, and my brother wasn't sleeping in the bed anymore. So he knocked really hard. And then my grandfather came in the room and he was pissed mad at my father. So really crazy story, but that's how it used to go back in the time. What do we have over here? A couple more trophies from the billiards. Wow. Have a look at this picture, Jody. Damn, that's definitely beginning of the 1900s. And there's a nice mirror behind there with molding and everything. It's a beautiful place. Even more billiards trophies over here. And a souvenir from Paris as well. Oh, wow, this clock. Oh, I absolutely love it. Look at that. Beautiful design on there. Porcelain, this clock face in there, fleur-de-lis worked into it. Absolutely amazing. Okay. A couple more rooms. This room over here used to be the girls' room of the house. The four ladies used to sleep in here. They're all a little bit younger than my father. No, one of his sisters is older, but the other other three sisters are younger. So they used to all sleep together in this room. And then we still have the master bedroom of the house. This is where my grandfather and grandmother used to sleep together. A big grand room, nice overview of the town. It's absolutely amazing. Very common for back in the time, the court, to put the lights on and off. We don't do this anymore nowadays.
No.
Very sad. I think it has a lot of charm. But I also saw one more thing, and that's actually a hatch that leads to the attic. Want it reversed, Jody?
Yeah, of course.
Let me open it up. Okay, like that.
Oh,
Oh my God. I didn't expect the ladder to literally fall out of there. Okay. The attic. Never been there. But I always say, when I go to abandoned places, attics are the places where you can find the most treasures, because that's where people literally store the things from back in the time. Okay, let's go up there. Last part of the household, and this is probably one of the last times that I'm ever going to be inside of this house. I'm happy that I'm making this video to have these memories forever. It's going to be amazing to look back on it in 5 to 10 years from now. Hey, one more thing, I also did this with the house of my mother's grandfather, and my mother's grandmother. So I will link this in the annotations up here. Definitely check that video out as well. It's in the same style. It's also a farmhouse in Belgium. and it's amazing to see. Okay, see already a couple of things lying here on the ground. Purses filled with newspapers. I'm wondering if they used to be for my grandmother back in the time. They're all empty. There's even still some socks inside of there. Oh my gosh. See a couple more purses in here. Oh, lovely hat. And I think this was sort of a funeral hat, Jordy.
Oh yeah.
They used to wear it when somebody passed away, and then they had this funeral hat on when they had show their grief.
Yeah, that was really common in that time.
Absolutely. Nowadays we don't do that anymore, but back in the time, they always did it. Lovely. I still remember this radio. Wow.
Oh yeah, it was downstairs in the kitchen always.
Look at that. And even all the names of all the people that lived in here, the Haubens and the Deutschenbergers, they are all on here. My father here, this is my father, Hauber Raymond, is still engraved on this radio. I think we should treasure this and save this when we leave the house today. We should bring it home.
Definitely, definitely.
It's for knitting. All the knitting needles. It even says here on the front of the box, knitting needles. Wow. Have to watch out that I don't fall into the hedge. I'm looking if we can find a couple more beautiful things. A coat hanger, completely carved out of wood. Wow. What more do we have over here? A little cabinet over here to the side as well. Oh, and some statues over there as well. Lovely to see. And that radio back there probably has been for my father back in the time. Who knows? Even more trophies. Jeez. My grandfather, he was a real champion at billiards, and you can see it all throughout the house. Wow. You have a small space below here as well. Whoa. A big jar to store at least 50 liters, 10 gallons of wine. Back there, a couple more picture frames I left behind. Wow.
Yeah, all with Catholic symbols.
Yeah, religious depictions. Jesus Christ, heaven, the angels, everything still on there. Wow. Okay. Jordy, it's that time again of the video.
Yeah, sadly.
Sadly. These videos, it's the second one I make of my own family, and I always make them with a lot of passion because this is going to be a memory for everybody that was part of the family, and for me and everybody to look back on when we're older. And of course, I'm also happy that I can share this story of me and my family with you all. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. First and foremost, I have to thank my grandfather Jaak for his beautiful life. Without him, me and Jordy would have never been on this planet Earth.
No.
And with that all said, I want to thank you all for watching this week's video. Please like it, subscribe down there if you're new to the channel, and also write me a nice comment down there. Bro, let me grab the camera. Let's say goodbye together. We love you all.
Goodbye and see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye. And you have to promise me you're going to be more in the videos in the future.
Yeah, I will.
He's going to come with me to Japan.
Yeah, that's definitely.
That's
the deal.
We're going to do.
Okay. We have a deal.
Bro. Bye-bye.